spent 10 years raising a child with a DV perpetrator who still uses coercive bullying every day. Like literally, I'm in the final sprint in court trying to finish off full custody. In fact, they say something like 7 times is the average a woman will leave a domestic violence marriage before she'll finally leave. And I most certainly did that. I moved in and out a number of times. And I suppose I believed the rhetoric of, our love story was the greatest love story of all time. And, he'll change and all those things before I eventually realised there's a mental health issue and there was never going to be change because there was no recognition of the mental health issue. And I finally left for the last time. So I don't want anyone to think that I had courage from the start because I didn't. Women are attracted to me because I'm truthful and honest and down to earth, and that's a bit of a bright light in the world that can be quite dull. So that part of it, I suppose the other part for me was that I spent 3 years on my own and then I fell in love and got remarried, and that journey I then had a gastric sleeve and lost 50 kilos and reinvented myself with how I finally looked on the outside like I felt on the inside. And they're all, I suppose being loved unconditionally by a man and having a safe home, losing weight and looking on the outside like I always felt on the inside, and then building a successful business and having that reflected back on me. They were all pretty big levers in transforming from the fairly broken woman that crawled out of that relationship literally with nothing. I had to borrow 40 grand off my parents to live for the first year because, like all narcissists, he took all the assets and I walked out with nothing and a 4-year-old daughter. And to survive, I had to borrow money off my parents who he had estranged me from, and then eventually paid them back. And we have a wonderful relationship and we're really close now. And fortunately, I own my own home and I have a beautiful car and, life is looking peachy again. But please don't be under any illusions that I left in a cloud of, roses. It was not at all. It was a cloud of farts.